So today I want to do a bright, fun, colorful illustration to celebrate coming out of a really long art block for me. I've been going through it now for several months and I just haven't really had a lot of motivation to pick up the pencil because I've been busy with other things, and I've also just not really had any ideas. And now suddenly I have a lot of inspiration and desire to draw. So I'm really happy to be in that stage right now, and I want to talk about my art block and give a little bit of heart-to-heart advice for anybody who also gets a lot of art block. So yeah, let's get into it. So before I get into what I really want to talk about, I'm going to go ahead and mention Lavender Town's video that she made years ago. I watched it back then and it was really helpful to me, but just to get the part of it that I wanted to get across, she talked about how there's 3 different types of art block, which are inspiration, motivation, and execution based. So you could be struggling with any one of those 3 things and not be able to draw. And for me, that thing is usually inspiration, but a lot of the times it's also execution. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. So one of the things that contributed really strongly to my art block was the mental wall between me and my sketchbook. You'll notice here in this video and in my last several videos that I'm not really drawing in my sketchbook. I'm drawing on something else. I'm drawing on my phone. I'm drawing on a random scrap of paper. And that's because I've been having a really hard time feeling connected to my sketchbook. So my art block started towards the end of the school year, and it continued into what is now July. And almost August. So yeah, I've pretty much been art blocked all summer, which sucks because, you know, you go into summer and you're thinking, great, I have all this free time and I can practice my drawing, and for me, I just kind of couldn't for some reason. And that sucked. I'm not gonna lie, that really sucked for me. But the main problem I eventually identified was that I had a sketchbook that was a little bit too fancy, I guess is the right word. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to create finished watercolor paintings on every single page, which is not a good habit to get into, and I really wouldn't recommend it. It comes from seeing a lot of people on social media doing that, and it's just an unrealistic goal to set for yourself. So I went to Hobby Lobby. Don't tell anybody, sorry. I don't want to advertise them, but they have one sketchbook that is pretty hard to compete with. And I got one of those that I hadn't had in years. It's cheaper than the one I've been using, it was more easy for me to access, and it has 80 sheets of paper, which is 140 pages for me to fill. So I can really get comfy in it, and I don't have to feel like I need to be precious with it like with my Etcher sketchbook, which is only 20 sheets, which is 40 pages to fill up. So that's kind of how I started getting over my art block. Another big part of how I was able to get over my art block was actually making my previous YouTube video. There's like a really tiny chance that anybody watching this has also seen my previous video, but to anybody who did, hello. So that one took me probably a little bit over 10 hours to do, because I had to draw a lot of transparent PNGs, position them, set up their animations to get everything going smoothly, do the audio. I had actually kind of scripted the story a little bit because I was really nervous. I wasn't as nervous for this one, so this one actually isn't scripted. Get me raw and uncut, I guess. But yeah, it took me a long time, and the drawing portion of it actually took less time than everything else. So the drawing kind of felt like just a regular small little task. It didn't really feel like I was drawing, especially since I wasn't doing it traditionally. I was doing it digitally, and I'm usually more of a traditional artist. So it felt like I was still taking a break, but I was getting my creative juices flowing and thinking about art sort of in a subconscious way in the context of telling a story for my video. I hope any of what I just said made sense, but basically to make it make a little bit more sense, I had a project to do that involved me drawing. So the drawing wasn't the focus, the project was, and the drawing was to support the project. And that just got me back into the habit of drawing again. And after I finished the project, I felt really rewarded by having something I could watch. And even though it's not a perfect video and I fumble over my words a lot, like I kind of just always do, I'm still really proud of it. I'm really proud of myself for sticking to it and being able to put it out so that some people could watch it, and a few people actually enjoyed it, which made me really happy. It made me want to make this video, which is the second addition to my Paint With Me series, except this one isn't with paint. But yeah, so I guess a piece of advice I would put out there to anybody who's going through an art block is to maybe give yourself a project to do with your art. It doesn't have to be a YouTube video. It can be like maybe just a little comic book page or something like that. Just something that has a definite start and end, like, result and everything like that. You know what I mean? So that you are making art that contributes to that goal. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble with my words. The other really important piece of advice that I want to give to anybody who's struggling with art block is one that you've probably heard a few times, but I think you kind of need to soak it in still, maybe. And that's that it's okay to take a break from drawing. A lot of people do that thing where they say, oh, I draw every day, and you should draw every day, and that's how you practice, and even if it's just a couple minutes, it's great, it'll help you improve. And the truth is, it will. It'll help you improve, for sure. But it'll also maybe burn you out. And if you're burnt out, then the best thing to do might be to just put down the pencil. It's usually the best thing for me, and I thought I'd go ahead and pass that along. The last thing I want to say is that I really appreciate 200 subscribers, and I hope to continue making more videos in the coming months, and yeah, thanks for watching, bye!